The Doe and 5-0's coming up. Yeah, they gon' talk about Florida, cause it sucks. Yeah, they gon' talk about politics, news and stuff. Yeah, they gon' talk about cause it's funny. So what? Yeah, they gon' talk about it. Yeah, I like that guitar. Not quite sure what happened. Seems like I might have lost my place. Well, if you're just now tuning in, the show hasn't started yet. Congratulations, you made it. So let's give it up for the Doe and 5-0. The Doe and 5-0's coming up. Yeah, they gon' talk about Florida, cause it sucks. Yeah, they gon' talk about politics, news and stuff. Yeah, they gon' talk about cause it's funny. So what? Yeah, they gon' talk about it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week of the Doe and 5-0 show. This
It's
is
like
the
deja vu, isn't it?
those of you keeping score at home, this is the second time we've recorded this show today because the first time we sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Hello everybody, welcome to another glorious week here at the Doe and 5-0 show. Well, another week.
Another week, yeah. It doesn't feel real glorious to me.
Glorious.
All right, it's glorious. I feel glorified. It was hilarious.
No idea why.
It was great.
If we sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks this time too, that's what you're getting.
It's going to roll.
You guys may have noticed a new opening to the show this week. That's
Because it by far will be the best part of the whole show.
Absolutely. Carl Rose now put that together for us. He did the automations for it and the music. He did a fantastic job. So if any of you out there are business owners, have any desire to reach out to Carl, send us a message on our page and we'll get you hooked up with his information. He does a really good job.
Yeah.
He got it done pretty quick too.
He's doing it for the bakery too.
Yeah.
He's gonna have one for us, and yeah, he did it fast, and he's very talented.
Yeah. So
you were there when he said he couldn't sing?
yeah.
And then it's like, what the hell are you talking about?
I mean, he's not as good as us, but he's almost there.
He's almost there. We can hook him up.
Yeah.
He can go places.
Yeah. Straight to the sewer if he follows us. Straight to the sewer. So, anyway, Carl, we appreciate it. And seriously, if you guys are interested in it, give us a shout out, and we'll get you hooked up with this information.
Did I tell you when I was listening to the whole thing, I sent him a text. I said, "Wow, you're really talented," and he said, "Well, you guys are too." I said, "Obviously, you don't watch the show." He said he did. I'll prove it today. We'll find out.
Let's see how much you really watch. So. See if you watch this, Carl. South Korean YouTuber sets his private parts on fire during a gaming live stream and gets second-degree burns in the process.
Have you ever done that?
Only one. No, never. Shin Tai II, also known as the infamous Angry Korean Gamer, set his crotch area on fire.
I actually have better names for him.
As a penalty for losing a Fall Guys video game, following suggestions of his viewers for a punishment for losing. The deal was for him to set his private parts on fire for 5 seconds if he did not come in first place for that particular round, so he went ahead and did it. At around the 3-hour and 15-minute mark of the video, which has since been taken down, so I'm sorry I can't share that with you guys.
That's too bad.
Which aired on YouTube back on August 6th. This genius stripped down to only his white skivvies and poured lighter fluid all over himself. After doing that, he poured lighter fluid on his crotch area and reset his timer to properly accept the penalty because the first time he only got through 3 seconds before being in extreme agony and pain. Putting it out.
You have to admire the fact that he was man enough to accept his punishment, right, and redid it so that it was full 5 seconds. What a dumbass!
Only the dedication of a Democrat would do something like that.
No politics. No politics. No politics. Only good news.
It was about that. We don't have a good news segment to end the show this week, so don't get your hopes up. Because 2020 is a shit show.
There is good news. There's
I just couldn't find any. Sorry.
There's good news here. Look at all the traffic going on. There's a lot of people there. People are doing stuff. People are going out. People are talking again. People are feeling a little bit of sense of community now. There's just a lot of good news.
The infamous YouTuber eventually updated his fans through social media that he's since gone to the hospital for a treatment and revealed that he actually suffered from second-degree burns, according to the report. YouTuber or not, however, people should not try this for themselves, as they may end up getting some serious injuries.
They really felt they needed to add that to the end of the story.
Yeah.
They really felt that by the way, don't light your testes on fire. So he went to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And what's your emergency? My balls are burnt.
And not in the sexually transmitted disease kind of way either.
No, I'll bet that man will never have sex.
Well, I'm guessing if he's a YouTube gamer, he probably never has a chance having sex anyway.
No, not a chance.
You ever eat yourself some Hot Pockets back in the day, Joe?
No, because I'm still alive.
Okay, let's be honest about the crap that you put into your body.
And still, I won't touch a Hot Pocket.
You're down Hot Pockets. Come on.
80-year-old ravioli. Crank her open. It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
Get the plastic spoon, the dirty plastic spoon.
But he won't eat a Hot Pocket. Come on. Well, we had a man that broke into a bank to cook himself a Hot Pocket. Got a short little clip for you here. He's pretty excited about it.
You did that for a Hot Pocket?
Yes. All that for a Hot Pocket.
You broke into a bank for a Hot Pocket?
Hot Pocket. For a Hot Pocket.
Hot
Was it
Pocket.
worth it?
Hell yeah, it's worth it. A Hot Pocket? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, and I hate to say this again because it seems like I've already stated this. And so I don't understand. He broke into the bank keeps like First Bake a Burn. We used to have our donuts there, and they would offer the donuts, and you could get free coffee. They have like a whole thing of Hot Pockets there, and a dirty microwave to cook them in, and that nasty sleeve thing to put them in.
Well, apparently they do because this guy knew exactly where to go to get himself a Hot Pocket.
So instead of going to a grocery store and stealing a box like any decent human being would do, he breaks into a bank for a Hot Pocket.
Probably got charged with a federal crime for a Hot Pocket. Was it worth it? Hell yeah.
And hopefully this is Chipmunks again. Hell yeah.
God only knows what it'll sound like. Maybe this time will just be no volume whatsoever. I don't know.
Be the best for everyone.
Naked sunbather chases a boar through the park after it steals his laptop. A naked sunbather in Berlin, Germany, had a close brush with nature when a wild boar snatched up his plastic bag, which contained his computer. Much to the amusement...
Would you be laying naked any place where wild boars are always hanging out?
I mean, not myself, but hey, you know. Much to the amusement of his fellow sunbathers, the nudist was forced to give chase to the boar and her two piglets in order to retrieve his laptop. The hilarious image started making the rounds on social media after actor and real-life coach Adele Landor took photos of the chase at a popular bathing spot.
And apparently not a real good friend.
Yeah. Nature strikes back, she captions the photo, detailing the man in question found in the amusing incident. We'll put up a few pictures of this fine physical specimen here chasing the pigs. I then showed the photos to the man. He laughed soundly and authorized me to make them public. It's not my nature to expose myself. I think it's also us has funny pages and you can share them. So please stop all the negative comments, she wrote. Landor provided more details on the Instagram. While the man was sunbathing, she wrote, the boar calmly ate a pizza from his backpack, and then they were looking for a dessert. Dessert. Now I'm going through puberty. Dessert. Now I'm going through puberty. It's great. They found... Oh boy, they found his yellow bag. It's funny how just a couple of weeks off, how bad it can really screw up the rhythm that we.
Oh, we do this every week. It's okay.
Worse than normal. They found this yellow bag and decided to take it away, but the man who owned it realized it was in the bag with his laptop, so he's very focused on running behind the boars in order to get it back. The onlookers adored how focused he was when he came back with his yellow bag in hand, and they all clapped and congratulated him for successful capture.
Go back to that picture.
The boar or the naked guy?
No, okay. So other people have clothes on. Did you see that?
Well, it looks maybe those two and that top one maybe possibly are naked.
I don't get that. I don't get it. So, hello. Hey, Saturday, Bob, what are you and your wife doing? Hey, we're gonna go sunbathe where there's wild boars. What do you say we go out there naked with our pizza in our backpack and a laptop? Nobody does that. What a crazy...
I wonder if it was a real pizza or a Hot Pocket.
No, because they ate it. It was a real pizza. Even the pigs are going, what the hell is this?
Hasbro removes Troll Dolls World Tour toy following complaints about its inappropriate button placement. We're going to load up a video here for you guys.
This is actually one of my favorite stories.
Maybe we'll load up a video for you.
Touch her tummy, and she makes little singing sounds, and she's super cute.
That's adorable.
Well, I was showing her to my husband, and I heard some other sounds that I had never heard before. And if you look down here, I figured a video was the best way. So I just touched her tummy, and she's going to sing for a minute. But down here is a button, right here on her privates. And if you push those, she makes these sounds. Like a gasping sound. And I know some of you may not think this is a big deal, but especially since I have kids, this is wrong. For one, this button, it says nothing about this button on the box. Nothing.
Okay, Karen. It's okay.
She's fascinated by this button. So my question is, why were her and her husband playing with this doll? Why did they go right to this button? And why were they so fascinated in pushing the button so often? My kids could have had that doll and I'd have never ever seen that button. They went right to it.
Right to it, man. Right to it. Troy man pulls out a shotgun during an argument with his neighbors over a loud party. Out of Troy, Michigan, a drunken Troy man pulled out and racked a shotgun after he was told to go home and go back inside and mind his own business during an argument with a 20-year-old about a loud party they were having. Troy officers were called around 9:40 p.m. last Friday for reports of a loud party. While officers investigated the situation, they heard a loud argument between a 20-year-old Bloomfield Hills man at the party and Christopher Hogarth. Hogarth, age 47 of Troy, lives in a neighboring house. The 20-year-old man was yelling at Hogarth to go back in his house and mind his own business. As officers spoke with the 20-year-old, they said they heard the sound of a shotgun being racked. There was a large police presence at the scene, including at least one marked car with emergency lights activated. Hogarth was seen standing on his porch holding a shotgun up in the high-ready position, according to police officers. When officers ordered him to drop the gun, he ignored them and slowly retreated into his house. Hogarth's wife came outside to confront police during the exchange. Hogarth eventually complied with officers and laid on the ground, but he refused to put his hands behind his back. They were eventually able to secure him in handcuffs. Police said a shotgun shell was found on the ground where they had initially seen Hogarth holding the gun on the porch. While interviewing Hogarth, officers said they smelled a strong odor of alcohol. He was given preliminary breath tests, which resulted in a .11 blood alcohol level. Hogarth told police he wasn't going to do anything with the shotgun. He told them racking the shotgun was for the noise only. Hogarth was charged with possession of a firearm while intoxicated. He was arraigned Saturday and released after posting a $2,000 bond.
Why would he do that after the police got there? Wouldn't that just be
Liquid
a
courage?
sure way to go to prison for that or jail?
Yeah.
Idiot.
You big Larry Legend fan, Joe?
Yes. Love Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. You from the great state of Indiana, then he's probably your basketball icon, I'm guessing. Larry Legend obviously went to school at Indiana State University, was a superstar, played for the national championship of that small school against Magic Johnson, right?
Yep.
Then he went on to have great success with the Boston Celtics during his NBA career, coached the Indiana Pacers, and ran the organization for many years too. So pretty vested in the state of Indiana.
Great player.
Anyway, somebody has found Larry's doppelganger. Is there anything more Indiana than a tomato that looks like Larry Bird? Bird started trending Sunday after this picture of an oddly shaped tomato surfaced. Some people are saying it looks eerily similar to the basketball legend. The tomato was originally shared on Twitter Friday, but it took a couple of days for the first person to make the connection to Larry Bird. There's been no word yet from the Indiana State and Boston Celtics star and his doppelganger, but the conversation on Twitter just keeps going. What do you think, Joe? Is that tomato looks like Larry?
Absolutely. It looks just like him. I don't know why it took a couple days, because the first time I saw it, I didn't even see Larry's picture next to it.
That looked like
Larry Bird.
Drugs on a plane bound for Australia was so packed with cocaine, Joe, it was too heavy to take off the runway. A light plane heading for Australia was allegedly laden with so much crack cocaine it was too heavy to take off. The plane, allegedly packed with $80 million worth of the illegal drug, was trying to fly out from Papua New Guinea to Queensland when it crashed on takeoff last week. It allegedly had 500 kilograms of drugs on board, about the same weight as a horse, when it tried to take off from a remote airstrip near Port Moresby.
Wait, the plane couldn't lift a horse?
Apparently.
Wow.
It's a small plane, man.
It's a very small plane.
Like remote control.
I think it wasn't one of them that they folded.
Yeah. Police allege the plane had already flown illegally at a low height to avoid radar detection. The AFP alleges greed played a significant part in the syndicate's activities and cannot rule out the weight of the cocaine had an impact on the plane's ability to take off. Papua New Guinea constables seized the drugs last night after a 6-day search in the jungle. That's dedication. 5 members of the Melbourne-based crime syndicate face multiple charges for trying to import the drugs, enough for 500,000 deals, and they face life in jail. Police say they have links to an Italian organized crime syndicate, the Queensland Joint Organized Crime Task Force.
Which means everyone's walking away.
Yeah. The task force traveled from Melbourne to Sydney, near Cairns, to import and collect the cocaine. Upon landing, police say the drugs were to be driven from Mariba to Victoria in the back of a truck. Basically, they say that these subjects are charged. Among the charged are 31-year-old Aidan Coder, a Sydney man, George Mareb, and the truck driver Osman Buttafuoco. The plane's Australian pilot handed himself in at the Australian consulate and was arrested and charged with immigration offense. So basically, long story short, if you're gonna
immigration offense,
yeah, must not been from there.
He's hauling $80 million in cocaine. That's what he got busted for. That's kind of funny.
Maybe he rolled on the other people. I don't know.
They crashed in the jungle. Would you be anywhere near that plane after it crashed?
Oh.
I'd have got what I could carry out. I would be gone.
With current interstate travel restrictions in place due to COVID-19, the attempt to import illicit drugs into Australia shows how opportunistic and greedy organized crime criminals can be.
This is a news flash.
Yeah, Australian law enforcement remains committed to working collectively to protect Australia, which is especially important now due to the ongoing impact of the pandemic on our community. Screw the $80 million in crack cocaine, you selfish bastards. You tried to do it during COVID-19.
Yep. Otherwise, you'd have been fine.
Well, that's all we got for this week in news. It's time for this week in Florida.
That's kind of like good news.
Down to Florida, we welcome you to the Sunshine State. They're kicking back and soaking up the rays every day in Florida. I'm in Florida. The sun is setting over Tampa Bay. It's like a Caribbean holiday every day in Florida.
All right, everybody, welcome to This Week in Florida. We're going to start, Joe, where some men broke into a Florida home while wearing GPS ankle monitors. Out of Hollywood, Florida, police say a group of men already on pretrial release for previous offenses are behind a string of burglaries carried out while they were intelligent enough to continue to wearing their ankle monitors that track their location. Law enforcement officials seized more than $150,000 in cash, an AK-47, a Smith & Wesson handgun, cell phones, iPads, jewelry, designer handbags, ammunition, blank checks, fraudulent debit and credit cards, and a stolen vehicle.
Designer handbags.
Yeah. Well, maybe they kept their AK-47 and
One of
ammunition
these
in there.
things is not like the others. Look at the list of everything else. And designer, they don't look like designer handbag kind of guys.
Well, you know, my grandfather, he wasn't a designer handbag kind of guy either, but my grandma, she always bought like the nicest of everything. That was just kind of how she rolled, and she would cycle these designer purses out. And my grandfather believed in throwing nothing away ever. And he would
Depression era, huh?
Yeah, he grew up in the Depression, so he would take these designer handbags, and you just see them all over, hung up on the walls in the garage, and they would have various tools.
These are
and
for
nuts and bolts,
sockets.
and,
These
yeah.
are for.
That Gucci bag is where that rusty 80-year-old hammer is over there or something.
You can go ahead and take that bag with you if you want. That's okay, Grandpa. I'm just going to leave that there. I'll grab the rusty old hammer and I'll be on my way.
I imagine if you were smart enough to put those things on eBay, he probably had thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bags with rusty old tools in them.
Well, then what would I put my tools in? I'm not getting rid of that.
That brown one over there has got my Craftsman hammer in it. Anyway, these Floridian scholars here, they've been accused of being part of a criminal organization committing burglaries, armed burglaries, fraud, gun thefts, and other criminal acts throughout Florida. They were captured easily due to the GPS monitors.
Yeah,
they were
why would they not cut them off or not? I mean, do you know if somebody's tampered with them if they cut them off? I mean,
Yeah, they'll get a notification.
Oh,
so.
Apparently they didn't want anyone to be notified.
Florida man tells cops he was gifted pants by a passerby after legal drugs were found in his pockets.
That's very believable.
Out of Fort Pierce, Florida, pants given to him by a passerby is the defense a Florida man used for the drugs found in his pockets. Fort Pierce police arrested 40-year-old Willie Graham after they responded to reports of a fight on North 14th Street. According to the arrest report, police arriving on scene found two men, one of which was identified as Graham and his brother, fighting in the roadway. When detectives were questioning Graham, he kept fidgeting with his pocket and ignoring commands from law enforcement to keep his hands out of his pants pockets, which then prompted a detective to go ahead and pat him down. Four plastic bags were found in his pockets, 2 which had marijuana and MDA, and the other had 2 residues of an unknown substance in it. Police say Graham waived his Miranda rights and told them he and another man were not fighting, but they were just wrestling. Brother.
Yeah.
That's also when they told police the pants he was wearing were actually not his and they were gifted to him by a passerby, and he didn't know that there was illegal substances in his pockets.
Have you ever done that? Just kind of been driving down the street and say, hey, you look like you could use my pants.
Graham was charged with domestic battery and drug charges, and he was booked into, shockingly, the St. Lucie County Jail.
St. Lucie.
It's my fave.
And we're back. Florida's a fairly large state, but yet we're always going back to those same areas.
Florida man was jailed yesterday on a felony Slurpee battery. Investigators allege that Brian Duffy, age 40 last month, doused a 7-Eleven employee with the frozen treat during a 9:20 a.m. argument about the drink's price at a store located in, shockingly, Pinellas Park.
Is that the young man right there?
That is the young man.
Oh, he's a good-looking fella.
Good-looking 40-year-old. According to the arrest affidavit, a surveillance camera recorded Duffy backhanding the cup full of a Slurpee drink out of the female's hands. The Slurpee flew onto the victim's person. While Duffy left 7-Eleven before police responded, the victim yesterday afternoon pointed the defendant out to law enforcement, apparently after he returned to the convenience store. Returning to the scene of the crime. During police questioning, Duffy recalled there was previously an incident in which he was being charged too much for a drink, but Duffy did not recall knocking the Slurpee out of the worker's hand.
I forgot about that part.
Since Duffy's lengthy rap sheet includes a prior battery conviction, he was charged with a felony battery for the incident. Duffy, pictured above, is being listed in the county is being held at the county jail in lieu of a $2,500 bond.
So they overcharged him 12 cents. He's got a $2,500 bond to pay now. I don't think he's getting out anytime soon. And and we've talked about this before. You're sitting in jail. You're out with other people. They're asking why you're there.
What are you in for?
Felony Slurpee charge.
Hey, I'm in for a ketchup battery. What are you in for? Pop-Tarts.
The Pop-Tart was one of my favorite ones. There he was disabled and he threw it at her and left the Pop-Tart on the ground, remember? Because the police came, the Pop-Tart was still laying there.
So it'd be hard to get rid of that evidence as you just cram it down your throat, right?
And, sir, was there a Pop-Tart here? And there's shit all over the sides of his mouth.
Raspberry feeling dripping down his cheeks. Nope. Oh, God, Florida. All right. Continuing on with Florida sanity, Florida man stashes meth deep inside of his belly button, according to a police report.
That's where I keep mine.
Out of Clearwater, Florida, a Florida man has finally figured out what a belly button is actually good for. Stashing his dope. Martin Skelly, age 41, was arrested Saturday after he showed up at a Clearwater McDonald's with a loaded needle.
Everyone back off! We got a needle and it's loaded.
Don't say what it was loaded with, but Skelly was transported to jail where he underwent a full body search. Despite telling officers he had no additional contraband during his arrest.
People that do that, I mean, is that like your job when you first start or something?
Well, I don't know. Maybe for the jailers it might be. I don't know. It's a bad job. Despite telling officers he had no additional contraband during his arrest, the jail deputy found a baggie filled with methamphetamine wedged deep within the belly button cavity of the 380-pound Skelly.
I mean, if it was deep and you couldn't see it, is that one of the places that is normally searched? I mean, do they check ear canals? And
I mean, if you're doing a body cavity search, I guess especially if you're a big guy, it's probably pretty far back in there. According to the police report, upon finding the drugs in his belly button, Skelly responded, "I was just being dumb and not thinking." He was then tacked on with 2 more felony charges for possession of methamphetamine.
I'm thinking of the poor son of a bitch that had to pull it out. Did he have to use like a needle nose or something and get in there and grab the baggie and
Jaws
pull
of life.
it out and then see if there was more in there? Oh, and just think about that'd have to hurt. Yeah. Have you noticed my mother-in-law is sitting here through this and she's right over here on the other side of the camera and she hasn't even cracked one smile at any of the stuff we're doing right now. Well, that made her laugh.
Morons. Florida man arrested after he used COVID-19 relief funds to buy himself a Lamborghini. Out of Miami, Florida, a Florida man was arrested and charged after authorities say he bought a sports car with a Paycheck Protection Program loan. Officials say David Hines, age 29, was charged with 1 count of bank fraud, 1 count of making false statements to a financial institution, and 1 count of engaging in transactions in unlawful proceeds. The complaints allege that Hines asked for around $13.5 million in PPP loans through applications to an insured financial institution through different companies. He received $3.9 million in PPP loans. The complaint says Hines submitted fraudulent loan applications that made numerous false and misleading statements about the company's payroll expenses. He then used those funds in part to buy himself a $318,000 2020 Lamborghini, Joe. Authorities later seized the car and $3.4 million from bank accounts at the time of the arrest. For those of you that aren't aware, the PPP loans are designed to provide emergency financial assistance to millions of Americans suffering from economic effects from the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's for the small business. It's supposed to be for the small businesses.
Yeah.
Who many of them got turned down, and yet Jackass over here can get $3.9 million by just bullshitting his way through the form. That's very upsetting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Lamborghinis are cool looking cars, but at my age, it doesn't even sound appealing because I don't. If I got down in there, I'd never be able to pull myself back out.
I'll tell you what, I have. We've talked about. I have you've seen my Camaro I have. It's my very first car. I still have it. It's an '84 Camaro. It has 25,000 miles on it. I got it. I got stationed in Panama. It got stored. I was in Panama for a couple of years. And anyway, we just ended up never driving. I still have it. Have to drive it once in a while. I can fall in. Tell you, getting all that. And you try, those doors are heavy on the Camaros.
Yeah.
And so I try not to lean on them. So they kind of roll out to the ground. It's I don't drive it often. It's not getting any easier.
Florida man flees crash, hides inside of a fire station with a backpack full of dope.
Dude, they'll never find me in here.
Out of Clearwater, Florida, a Florida man is charged with drug trafficking could have done a better job picking his hiding spot. Spokesperson with the Clearwater Police Department says Delmetrius Wilson, age 24, was the passenger at a crash on Court Street, Missouri Avenue. After the crash, Wilson grabbed his backpack from the vehicle, hid it between two buildings, and then fled into the Clearwater Fire Department station number 45, not knowing it was actually a fire department. A witness led police to the discarded backpack, which contained a trafficking amount of codeine, along with crack cocaine, lorazepam, MDA, and marijuana. The fire department notified Clearwater PD, and Wilson was arrested on multiple drug charges.
You think he stood in there? If I just act real casual, they won't even know I'm here. Well, what happened to the driver? He was the passenger, right?
Yeah, I didn't say what happened to the driver.
It wasn't nearly as funny.
Yeah.
He got away.
Florida man driving with candle sets his car on fire. I feel like we've told this story like 3 times now.
I swear I've heard it before.
Out of Charlotte County, Florida, the Charlotte County Fire Department EMS has a warning for drivers. Please don't drive with an open candle.
Ooh, wait, hold on.
I'll write that down.
Yes, I don't want to miss. Please don't drive.
ANDLE. Exclamation. According to the department's...
Wait, so a closed candle I can?
Yeah. According to the department's Facebook page, the fire started with a fragrant candle that was burning in the car, tipped over onto some papers, and then caught on fire. The man driving...
He put a flammable substance underneath them to save the seat.
Yeah.
Good for him.
The man's driving stopped his car and ran for a trash can to fill with water, because he's got a trash can in his car, apparently. And when he got back, the car was engulfed in flames. Fire and EMS crews said they were able to put the fire out, but unfortunately not before the fire destroyed the car. Thankfully, no one was injured. No word on what type of scent the car smelled like when it was done.
I wonder if it smelled
good. It is pumpkin spice season. I don't know.
Oh, God, here we go again. I forgot about that.
Well, that's all we got for this week. Kind of a shorter show today. I unfortunately was unable to find any really good news stories because, 2020 sucks a fat one. So.
But I did find out it was, 56 years ago that the Beatles had their first U.S. tour starting in California.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of our good news.
The extent of the good news.
No, but like I said before, you know what? It's not all bad.
Yeah.
You look at any store I go into now, locally, not so much the other stores like out of the city, but in this city, it seems like people are friendlier.
Yeah.
We have our masks on. Nobody can understand. But everybody's talking to each other. It's like there's like a camaraderie. We're all gonna be okay.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
We appreciate everybody tuning in. Again,
Both of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
both
know
of you.
that we have, and it's mostly been my fault. It has been my fault. We haven't been doing things regularly like we usually do. Joe and I have been talking a little bit. Maybe trying to change the days, or at least the time frame of the days that we can record the show, and then maybe.
The problem
push it
is
out towards
Lee
the
is
end
a
of the week,
busy
so,
man.
Yeah.
I don't do anything, but I don't help with the show. If I helped even a little bit, I think we could probably push it out every week pretty easily.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pretty useless. He needed a building.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are. So you'll see that the background looks different this week a little bit. We're kind of changing things up. We've decided to land in the building we're in now, so we're going to change some things up and what the
We
set
should
looks
have really
like.
used
so
that as the backdrop. That's a cool backdrop. Oh, this is going to be the green screen.
this will be the green
backdrop.
screen, and that'll be the
That'll be
normal
other
side.
one.
So
All right.
we just need to make some time to get everything fixed up and ready to go. So hopefully that'll be done sooner rather than later. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
See you two later.
Later.